Take a look at this. What you're watching here are police over in Argentina rescuing a woman's dog that's stuck up in a tree. But the question happens to be, how did this happen? This is currently making its rounds in the news, and according to this resident, Yanina Baigorria, over in Las Chacarritas, Argentina, everything happened around 1 a.m. Reading from this news article here, she says she was awakened by a loud crash coming from the backyard, and also a sharp and intense sound immediately caught her attention, and at the same time, the dogs in the house began barking toward an area covered by bushes. But here's where things become more bizarre, because she says that she grabbed her flashlight to check to see what was happening. When she directed the beam of light towards the location, she came across an imposing figure that, at first glance, she described as a bird of extraordinary size. She said this bird-like creature was massive. Her dogs were staring at it aggressively. She wasn't taking her eyes off it. That's when she claimed that this being lowered its head, grabbed her dog, and then took off vertically with a powerful thrust, disappearing among the trees of the nearby forest. Yanina was quoted as saying, "It felt like climbing, the tree was shaking in an unusual way, and the dog was barking up there." Amid the intense tension, she also claimed to have perceived a kind of disturbing laughter or murmuring coming from the winged creature. Continuing to read the news article, she went back to her house to wake her husband up and call for help. At that exact moment, she saw the creature abruptly leave the top of the tree, fly toward the front of the property, and completely disappear into the darkness of the night, leaving the dog stranded in the tree. Unable to rescue it, this is when they called emergency services. The officers from the 31 precinct were surprised themselves upon arrival to find the dog trapped at such heights, saying the dog was about 20 meters above the ground in a position completely inaccessible for a simple rescue. After the use of ropes and ladders, they were able to successfully rescue the dog, but they said that the most striking aspect of the rescue, and what adds an extra layer of mystery to the case, is that the dog was brought down without a single injury. After a thorough examination, it was confirmed that she was neither hurt nor scratched, and showed no signs of claw marks or evidence of being bitten or forcibly restrained. Which is indeed a bit odd, and as this news article says, a contradiction with known wildlife. The largest birds of prey on Earth are only capable of lifting prey weighing between 1 and 5 kilograms, and their talons leave deep marks on heavier animals. I'd probably say a little bit more than that, maybe around 7 kilograms, which are around 15 pounds, but nonetheless, the dog in that news story weighed well more than that. The largest known bird anyway in that region is the Andean condor. That specific species of bird has blunt legs and are not adapted for gripping or carrying prey in flight. So biologically, that would rule out the Andean condor. That is wild, but this thing might not have been evil given the fact that it didn't hurt her dog, and she also said it had some sort of weird laughter coming from it, so it might have been a trickster entity. Some people are even suggesting she may have encountered the Mothman. But if we're talking strictly cryptids, given the fact that she heard this large boom and also it was able to carry a dog this size, she may have even encountered what's known as the Thunderbird, which in many legends is known to drop off things like deer, dogs, and even children in trees. Given the fact of how she said it disappeared, the Thunderbird is famously known for appearing and quickly vanishing. But talking about strange sounds, this individual, Erica Eddy, over in the Appalachians, heard a sound she's never heard before, even causing her dog to be on alert.
What is that, dude? That ain't normal for Buddy.
I know coyotes and other types of creatures can make bizarre sounds, but one would think that somebody who resides in the Appalachians, this location, would be used to hearing something like this. And it almost sounds like some kind of weird laugh, and I do wonder if what this woman's hearing, the woman in Argentina heard as well. But I do want to see what other people are talking about. This next video comes from the Paranormal Chick.
Well, it's official.
Meteorites are now being seen in other countries. The following footage comes from a woman by the name of Canali out of France around June 19th, 2026. When she was out in the pasture of her home, she saw this massive meteorite coming down. But the thing is, you can see an object, and she has no idea where it landed, but she captured its entry all on video. Take a look at this footage, comment below, let us know what you think.
I don't know what that could possibly be. It's moving a little too slow to be any meteor, and it sure doesn't look like any meteor I've ever seen before. But what's even more interesting is that a couple days later, on June 21st, people in France started to see an orange orb, like, for example, this video right here.
¿Qué es eso, Antona? ¿Qué mierda es eso? O sea, es un... Está bajando. Es una bruja. Aquí se ve. Antona, ¿qué es? Mira. Es como una bola de fuego, ¿no? Lava. Mira. Quita la luz.
C'est quoi, c'est chelou?
Mira, mira, baja, baja. Está bajando. ¿Verdad que abajo? ¿Y abajo? No sé.
Now, a couple days prior to this, on June 17th, multiple people over in Michigan witnessed this in the sky, and this kind of reminds me of something else. I'll go ahead and say what it reminds me of towards the end of this segment, but of course they use that same old excuse. It's just SpaceX launching over in Florida.
What the f? Holy dude. What the f was that, dude? Oh my god.
So again, while they want to say this was just SpaceX that was said to be launching that same day, I can't help but notice how eerily similar this is to what was captured over in Italy when there was no SpaceX and people were saying it looked like a portal had opened. And outside of strange things being seen in the skies around the same time, very strange noises were also heard in the skies as well, like for example, this video from Isjay Kwan over in Atlanta.
Fuck. Hella.
12 o'clock. What is that? Like on some real shit. Who?
I don't know if that's Godzilla, but it could also be some type of work being done underground as well. This sound keeps being heard more and more. But even scarier, take a look at this. This video comes from the Jody69, and can you say dystopian?
Watching every single thing that you do in the grocery. Is this the end of grocery store cashiers as we know it? And why do I say that? Because grocery stores all across America are starting to roll out these brand new AI shopping carts. And one thing is for sure, it's not just AI. It's got cameras all over it, and it's watching every single thing that you do in the grocery store. Have a look at these smart carts, these AI shopping carts. You get your coupons. You get to sign in with your exclusive shopping pass. And then you have cameras in the front, the back, and the side. So this thing basically knows every aisle you walk down, every single item you pick up. And it's also keeping track of your trends. So if you do try to, let's say, pocket something by accident, accident of course, it's going to have a picture of your face because it's recording every single thing that you do inside of a supermarket. And these carts are already in ShopRites and Kroger's and other supermarket chains across the United States. And Instacart is responsible for everything that you're seeing right now. So basically, the need for employees in a supermarket may be coming to an end because the advertisements will be popping up on the screens as well. And also when the shelves are getting empty, that's where the other AI little guy that walks around, the robot thing, will start telling them that they need to replenish the shelves. So once again, the scary question you should ask yourself about this technology. Yes, technology is great. Yes, technology is amazing. But these things are recording. And what exactly are they recording? Is it your face, your body, your hands, your movements? And who is able to see the video? And how long is it being kept by these grocery store companies? That is definitely a question for Instacart to answer. So let me know your thoughts on this technology. Are you okay with a shopping cart recording everything that you do and keeping tabs on you?
What are we talking about here? This is beyond Orwell's 1984. This is beyond Black Mirror. Shopping carts with cameras equipped, possibly also scanning your face, who really knows, collecting your biometric data as you shop. They say that most of these shopping carts do not scan your face, but who are not among these most? And even if they say they don't scan your face and collect your biometric data, does anybody honestly believe that? I have a bridge to sell you.
Are you kidding me? I don't want this. I'm trying to take the bag of garbage down the driveway.
That video came from WRZJ, and apparently that vehicle was a new Ford. But it doesn't matter if it's a Toyota or a Dodge or a Ford, by 2027 and beyond, this will be the new normal.
911 is the national emergency phone number for the United States, Canada, Mexico, and all these countries right here. It was first established in Haleyville, Alabama through a combined effort between the Federal Communications Commission and AT&T in 1968. The very same year, construction began on these two buildings right here. You see, the FCC needed a short, easy-to-remember nationwide emergency number to help save lives, so they commissioned AT&T to do so, which was founded in 1885 by Alexander Graham Bell, who just 3 years later in 1888 was initiated at Alexandria, Washington Lodge number 22 in Virginia as a Freemason, a super exclusive fraternal organization of the elite class consisting of a global network of clubs known as lodges where members meet to discuss topics of worldwide interest. Or so they say. The first historically recorded Masonic lodge in the world being located in Edinburgh, Scotland, which just so happens to be the birthplace of Alexander Graham Bell. Now, the Rockefellers, although not Freemasons, are also a powerful elite family with great influence, after John D. Rockefeller pioneered the modern oil industry with his company Standard Oil, which later became Exxon. His grandson, David Rockefeller, was named vice chairman of Chase Bank in Manhattan in 1956, where he championed the idea behind the World Trade Center project, a massive real estate development initiative in Lower Manhattan, a project which included the construction of 7 buildings to promote international commerce, the first 2 of which were 1 WTC and 2 WTC, the Twin Towers in New York City, whose vertical construction officially began in 1968, the same year 911 was established as the national emergency number. And 33 years later, 9/11 happened.
That great video came from Phil's Pixels, and as you can see, these ritualists do everything by the numbers, and we are seeing the number 33 pop up a lot lately, but also you'll see it's popped up a lot in the past as well, connecting to certain events.
When I first heard this story, I thought there's no way this could be real. But then I remembered the timeline we're on and all the other stuff they're doing with genetic modification. Check this out.
Well, the world is one step closer to creating designer babies.
Designer, meaning altered.
We're the world first experiment altering the genes of embryo.
Yes, human embryos. Now, if you had concerns about genetically modified food, this should also be a little bit shocking.
Scientists at Columbia University have used a method called base editing, which chemically alters one letter in the DNA sequence.
So I don't know why she said this is the world's first, because this article is from 2017. UK scientists edit the DNA of human embryos. Like, it sounds like this has already happened. But here's the crazy part. They're saying they're doing this because if they alter the genes, they can make the embryo less susceptible to ailments, different ailments that humans sometimes have when they get older. So it's being seen as like this thing that is going to be great and like extend lifespan and stuff, or they're experimenting for that purpose. But my question is this. Would a normal, rational, sane person wake up in the morning one day and say, I wonder how or if I should alter the genes of human embryo? No one thinks that. That is like, not even Professor Frink from The Simpsons would do that. But Dr. Evil probably would. It's just, you don't really need to tamper with the fabric, the time-space continuum here. The DNA is the blueprint, and we're altering it? Well, how about this? I got an idea to alter something. Let's alter our consumption on toxic pesticides, herbicides, GMOs, fluoride, and all these crazy things that are unfortunate. Let's alter those situations and make the whole world healthier, better, stronger, cleaner, and then we don't need to worry about whatever the same damn this stuff is.
And he's right, there's so many things they could be doing, like taking a lot of these poisons out of these foods that we consume, but they're not. They're only adding to it, so whatever they're doing with these babies cannot be good. That video came from Shane Vibes.
In 2012, a video surfaced out of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and it was recorded where the largest battle ever in North America took place. And this was the 3-day Battle of Gettysburg in 1863. This would be a major turning point in the American Civil War, with over 50,000 casualties. And the Confederate forces, led by General Robert E. Lee, would be decimated and forced to retreat. And in this video, which is simply titled Gettysburg, Wheatfield, Fife, and Drums, was recorded around sundown and captured something that to this day they cannot explain. Take a look.
Nora. Come here. Just stand here. Listen. wouldn't be the first ones who've heard drums here when there's no people here. But it's hard for me to believe I'm actually hearing it.
Now, I wanted to dig a bit deeper, so I found the location on Google Maps. And I can confirm that behind this tree line, that there's no buildings or staging area. And while they do perform reenactments at Gettysburg, the fact that this was at night only raises more questions. But as the video progresses, the sun begins to go down and the drums pick back up again. But this time, they're even louder than before, and it sounds like they're marching towards them. She goes on to explain, "We were so certain it was reenactors. I expected to find a group behind each clump of trees. Each time we found none. After 30 minutes of walking and having sounds always just ahead of us and never seeing a soul, we really started wondering, could this be paranormal? But considering just how many soldiers lost their lives here, makes this video one of the most disturbing pieces of found footage on the internet."
The narrator of that video is Real Horror Talk, but the actual video is about 15 years old. The reason why I wanted to play it, whether it was real or not, Gettysburg has so much energy, you won't understand it unless you're actually there. So many bodies buried beneath these lands, and I made a video on my other channel yesterday, Minutes of Horror, talking about how these data centers will now be encroaching on Gettysburg. They'll be stretching across not only lands where a lot of these conflicts had taken place, but also where a lot of bodies are buried as well. And with these data centers being on top of so much history, again, it really makes you wonder the true purpose behind these data centers.
Here we go. Finally, 1850s Des Moines, Iowa. That's how a post office should look. Okay, in the 1850s, guys. That's all I'm trying to get across to you. Let's check out the courthouse. I'm sure it looks very similar to this. I was wrong. But what's the sword condom on the top of this courthouse in Des Moines? I'm like, what does the history say? It was like the mayor of Blacksmith, or what was it? Hold your horses. Makes perfect sense. Just looked up the history. In 1850, there was 500 people in Des Moines. This was built in 1858 for $100,000. Why am I the only one talking about Des Moines' condom capital? I mean, these are the pictures that I have to bring to y'all guys because we need some answers. That don't fit. This is the one after, 1909. Okay, it has grotesque figures all over. Like, why in Iowa? Why do you need grotesque? I mean, it's Iowa. It's Iowa, or we thought it was Iowa. I guess it's not. There was 6 massive courtrooms in this, and recently they just chopped it up into 29. That's how big those courtrooms were. Where are these stained glass people? Like, where? Do you know a stained glass person? Do you know any of them? Why not Rome here, Rome there? Why not Rome in Iowa, right? Okay, blue and pink. I didn't really think that would go together, but she's a beaut. Oh, Dubuque. That's a place in Iowa. What does their courthouse look like? 1839 to 1841 courthouse. I'll take it. But it had over 244,000 bricks. Okay, this courthouse did. Before that, it was in a wooden church, a little old wooden church. Let's see the next one. Iowa. Who are you? Who are you? The roof had winged trumpet angels on top of it, but World War I came around and they melted them. They just needed the metal, I guess. We hear that with the bells. That's just a tactic, I guess. It's another tactic. Write it down. History just can't all make sense. It can't just, all of it that they gave us, it can't all make sense. It can't all make sense. Iowa was only 25 years old, a state for 25 years, and this is the capital this is the one. After 25 years in 1871, let's go back and look in that time. Again, form your own opinion, just talking about mine. The Capitol Commission convinced them to have 29 different types of marble and 22 of them imported from Mexico and Europe. Then I'm wrong. I'm going to sleep fine tonight.
That video came from Luminary Lighthouse, and there is definitely something off about the 1800s that they're not telling us, which kind of makes a lot more sense given the fact that this is also around the same time people were seeing these insane asylums popping up everywhere, these massive insane asylums, kind of reminiscent to these data centers.
I don't know what the heck this is, but I don't like it. I don't know what the heck this is, but I don't like it. A woman and her husband were visiting Rome when she decided to snap some photos next to some old ruins, when something appeared in the background. What looks like a fleshless human is on the top of the hill. Now, the woman believes that this could be a ghostly apparition of a Roman soldier, but honestly, I don't know what that is, but I don't like it. I've been reviewing ghost photos for a long time too, and a lot of times when ghosts appear in photos, they are gray, or they're solid black shadow figures. Not once have I seen a ghost that looked this solid either. This thing looks like a meaty eye robot. I don't like it. I don't know what that is. And I will say this, I don't think that that's an apparition. It's some other being entirely. And hopefully it stayed where you found it. Because good God, if whatever that is followed you home, you need to bless your house. Bless your entire city. What do you guys think this is?
I have no idea what that thing could be either, but the only thing I can see by looking at it, it looks very similar to that colossal titan on that TV show, Attack on Titan. What in the world's going on here? That video came from Whoa, That's Strange.
The internet is possibly dead. So if you have not heard the dead internet theory, it is no longer a theory. It is actually confirmed. You can look it up on Google for yourself. That for the first time in the internet's history, more than 50% of everything on the internet is AI or bot driven. Right now, it's an estimated 52 to 50%. Some people say that number is actually conservative and it's actually closer to 70% of every like, every comment, every message, every post, every news article, every action on the internet is up to 57% according to experts. But like I said, many people think it's much more. So this is now being called the dead internet error, which means if somebody is interacting with you on the online and you don't know who they are, there is more than a 50% chance that they are either a bot or AI. And if you don't know what the difference is, bots are essentially given strict commands to do. A lot of streamers and TikTokers, YouTubers have been caught using them. And every once in a while, Facebook and Instagram will do bot cleanses where they'll actually cleanse bot accounts. Some big TikTokers will sometimes lose like tens of thousands of followers or hundreds of thousands of followers because these bot accounts get flagged. But we are living in an era now that almost everything you interact with online is not a real human being, or it's not a real sourced information-based like content. And that is scary. My theory on it is that the government's had AI for much longer than we've known about, and had bot technology much longer than we've known about, because I look at some of the big things that have happened in our lifetime, like in my lifetime being 34 years old, and I'm thinking, I wonder if that was real or not. Sorry, there's a coyote right next to me. So pretty to hear. There's a lot of them far away. There's one right next to me. Oh, she's got some babies over there. That's sweet. So anyhow, it is just a wild concept because I've seen news articles, and I'll go ahead and say it. No, I'm not going to say it. It'll get flagged by TikTok. But there's been some major events in the last 20 years that I do not think were real, and I think they might have been AI, and the government hid AI technology from us for a long time. Just like, the military was the first to have the internet. The military was the first to have, like, full working telephones and walkie-talkies. And essentially, the military is going to be first to have all major, technology and stuff. And I think some of these things can be scare tactics used to drive war, but there is so many things that this could be used for in a bad, awful ways. And the biggest thing that I think it's going to be used for immediately is political sway and like just opinion sway in general. Because right now, if more than 50% of the activity we're seeing is not real, it's fake, it's automated. If they want you to like a certain song, or they want you to like a certain movie or whatever, they can just drive the internet to where it seems that the majority of everyone likes XYZ. And I think that's what's going to play into the next political campaign is, whoever runs for president next, whoever the powers that be want to win, I feel like they can just sway the internet with this overwhelming bot AI stuff. As quickly as this is coming on, they suspect that in the next 5 years, that only 10% of the internet traffic will be real traffic and 90% of traffic will be fake. Now, that doesn't mean that real authentic interactions have dropped. They're higher than ever. It just means that there's an overwhelming amount more AI and bot, altercations and stuff. It is so weird to think we're almost there, guys. We're almost an iRobot. We're almost in all those sci-fi movies you have seen. We're there, and like that's what's weird to me is because you always think about the apocalypse being some big monumental like moment, instead of realizing it's just gradually happening around us all the time, like right now. Anyhow, I think I'm going to talk about this further. Our podcast is called Matt from Nomads on Spotify and Apple Podcast. It's called Nomads Animal Encounter on YouTube. I'm sorry, Nomads Animal Reserve on YouTube. So Matt from Nomads and Nomads Animal Reserve. I'd love to see you there.
That great video came from Nomads Animals Encounters, and he is right. AI is a lot older than what we believe it is, and I believe a lot of what we were encountering online, or perhaps on TV, what we were seeing on TV years ago, may have just been AI. We're more comfortable with calling almost everything we see now that does not look right to us AI, but that's only because we are more familiar now with the concept of artificial intelligence. But this technology is decades upon decades, if in some cases, hundreds of years older than what we believe. The dead internet theory may have been a concept a long time ago.